G'day, this is Charlie, and I'm coming to you with your daily dose of business inspiration. Topic number 228. I'm going to be talking about why your email isn't being delivered to inboxes or potentially why it's not being delivered to inboxes and ending up in the spam box. This is something that I deal with on a daily basis for my clients, and I have developed some expertise in resolving it. It is kind of what we do here at Ask Charlie Latham. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out. There is a blog article that I have linked in the show notes for today's podcast, and it explains what DKIM and DMARC are. I'm going to do a very quick summary of them here today, but if you want to know more, I would encourage you to go and read that article. I have tried to keep it simple in layman's terms, if you like, so that it makes a little sense. It can get a bit technical, it can get a bit tricky, and I don't blame you if you start glazing over when people talk to you about it. But what I want to do in this episode is give you some tools that you can use to find out why, or maybe determine why your mail's not being delivered, and then you can reach out and get help, or use some of the other tools that are available to fix it. So let's have a look at what the email deliverability is about. Back in May, it was, I think, all of the mail service providers got more security conscious and implemented DKIM and DMARC testing on a domain. So DKIM is Domain Keys Identified Mail. It's an authentication method that helps ensure your email hasn't been tampered with during transit. There's a digital signature that is attached to or validates that your email came from your domain. I'm going to simplify this down. I just want to give you some jargony terms. Sorry. DMARC, D-M-A-R-C, Domain-Based Message Authentication Reporting and Conformance. That's what DMARC stands for. This is a policy that helps protect your domain from email spoofing. If that's not a term you're familiar with, I will come back. It works alongside DKIM and Sender Policy Framework. So much jargon, SPF, to ensure that emails claiming to come from your domain are legitimate. Okay, I'm going to dumb all that down. Simplify it. I'm not going to dumb it all down. That's a really bad term to use, but I'm going to try and simplify it and put it into layman's terms. When you send email, you send it using your domain name, okay? If you're sending it from Gmail or Hotmail, none of this really applies. It's different if you're using a gmail.com or a Hotmail or a live.com or an outlook.com email address. But if you're sending it from your domain name, the way the protocols are now set up, the way the security is now set up on the internet, you have to tell the internet in general, and I'm generalizing it, that the server you are sending it from is authorized to send email on behalf of your domain. So if you are using Google Suite, or you are using Microsoft 365, or you are using Zoho Mail, or you are using server-based email, so you've got a mail server from one of the hosting providers, from myself even, and you're using the hosting service the mail service we provide on the hosting service, you have to tell the internet that the server that is hosting that mail, or the servers that is hosting that mail, are authorized to send on your behalf. It's like me signing a power of attorney in general, in real life, to say, yes, Gail, my VA, is authorized to act on my behalf. I'm telling the internet that this server is authorized to act on my behalf to send an email. That's what these things do, and they do it by adding digital signatures to your domain, to your email, so that when the mail goes out, the internet checks and says, does the DKIM or DKIM record match? Yes, good, excellent. Does the DMARC record match? Yes, excellent. Does the SPF record? Now, I haven't touched SPF in this, but it's an older protocol that's been in play for years. Does that match? Yes, good, tick. This server is allowed to send mail on behalf of this domain name. We will accept that and we will put it into the inbox. If any one of those three are not right, your mail will either be rejected and sent back to you and say, we can't deliver this because it doesn't match these things. And you'll get an error message in your inbox saying mail failed to deliver, or it will be delivered, but then it will be marked as spam and put into a spam box. That is why your messages are probably going into the spam box, is one of those three records isn't correct. That would be my gut feel on it. And so far, every time I've looked at this problem, yep, that's exactly what it is. Now, I want to share a tool with you that will help you easily discover whether that is the problem or not, or where some of your problems are. And that tool is called mailtester.com, MAIL hyphen TESTER.com. If you go to a web browser and navigate to mailtester.com, it's going to give you a screen that asks you to enter your it's going to give you a screen that says send an email to this address. And it's going to give you a link and say, when you've done that, come back here, click here, and you'll see your result. What that will allow you to do is you then go to whatever client you're using to send your email. It can be your phone, your mail client on your phone. It can be your web client. It could be, if you're running Outlook on your computer or one of the desktop apps, that one. It doesn't matter. Just use one of them. Put that address in the to line. Put a subject line in, put some text in the content. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Hit send. Once you've done that, go back to mailtester.com and click on the link that says click here to view your results. And it's going to give you a whole heap of information. Now that information, and yes, I'm just checking my notes here, is going to give what part of that information. It's going to give you a score, and what you're aiming for is as close to 10 out of 10 as you can get. Now, when you're doing a test, it is unlikely you're going to get a full 10 out of 10 because the tester also checks the quality of the content you're putting in that test, and that will often get pinged. So, but if you can get 8 or 9 out of 10, you've not got a problem. You generally don't have a problem with the way your mail is configured. If your mail is still not getting through, there's another problem. But let's have a look at some of the things that this tester will actually give you. It will give you a spam score. It'll tell you how likely your email is to be flagged as spam. Perfect. You're going to know immediately, well, if I send that, then that's going to be marked as spam. I need to fix it. It will tell you whether you have a proper DKIM, or I've got lights going everywhere, so I've got some problems here, sorry. DKIM and SPF verification. It will tell you whether the authentication methods are set up correctly for your domain. I would be looking there first of all. If either of those have failed, you have a problem and that needs to be resolved. And that's resolved by going to your mail provider and going to your domain hosting provider where your domain name, your DNS records are hosted, and adding some records in there or editing records that already exist. You may need some help with that. I will find some resources on how you can fix it, but it does depend on where your domain name is hosted and where your domain records are hosted and what mail service you're using as to how you fix it. It's not a one thing fixes all. You've got to go through the steps for each provider. The other thing it will do is tell you whether the DMARC policy, DMARC policy, has been set correctly or is set at all for your domain. And if it's not, I've had it where I've had the DKIM correct. I've had it where the SPF is correct. We didn't set a DMARC policy. It got left. It got forgotten. It didn't get added in for whatever reason, and things are going into the spam box. As soon as I set that, it fixes the problem. The other thing it will do is check your content and links, and it will look to see whether the email content or any of the links are going to trigger any spam filters. Now, I'm going to come back to that one in a minute and how you can utilize that specifically. The other thing it will do is tell you whether your email or your IP, so your email domain or your email address or your IP address, that's the address that tells people where to find that particular mail server on the internet, is listed on any non-spam blacklists. And that's useful too, because if your mail server is blacklisted, you're not going to get any mail out. Trust me. All right, I want to go back to that content and links. And I said, send a test message. It doesn't have to have anything specific in it. If you want to test a mail out you're doing, if you want to test, like you want to send out a broadcast message to people or a bulk message to someone, and you're doing it either on your desktop client or you mail yourself, or you're using a mail program like MailChimp or MailTester or one of those, MailChimp or MailerLite or Zoho Campaigns or one of those, what you can do is set up the address that mailtester.com gives you as a delivery address. And you can say, when you send out your test messages, you can send out a test message to mailtester.com, to the address there, and then go and have a look at it. It will tell you everything you need to know about how good that content is, whether the provider you're using is authorized to send on your behalf, whether the DKIM and the SPF and the DMARC records are set up correctly. Mailtester.com is really, really powerful stuff. And even if you can't fix the issues yourself, you can at least say to someone, here's the results I've got. These need to be fixed. How do I fix them? Which is going to put you so much further ahead than saying, I don't know why my mail's not getting delivered. What do you guys think? This is a little shorter one than I normally do. I haven't gone into how to actually fix the problems because, as I said, it depends on your platform you're using, the client you're using, where your DNS is, where your domain name records are hosted, how you edit them. There's a whole heap of things around that need to be considered. But knowing where to start is such a powerful thing, don't you think? Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. I'm sorry about the flickering lights. I have some breeze going through, so all my lighting is going mad as the ambient lights change. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. I do drop this content at 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time every week of the day. I don't miss. That's my promise to myself and my promise to you. You should get something inspirational for your business in your email box or on your podcast notifications every day. Let me know what you think. If you want to ask some questions, if you want more advice on this, if there's something that comes up out of everything I've said that I didn't make very clear, and I understand that this can be a very complex topic, please let me know. Leave some comments. Come across to Locals, askcharlielatham.locals.com, and let me know what you think. I would love to have that conversation. Other than that, I will see you guys all tomorrow for topic number 229. And I think I'm going to be talking more about manifesting and affirmations tomorrow. Should be good. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.